a case where I don't have to work because I would go porn and then I'd end up having to work. I'd soon find out that life is not free and I'd have to get a job.
Hello and welcome to the Tried It podcast, where we discuss all things from millennial struggles to relationships and love and everything in between. I'm Maya.
And I'm Kadisha. You said that really fast.
You know me. Oh my God.
How can I just be talking with the mic like all the way across the other room?
I don't even know.
Our response was, I'm so happy that was on camera.
I don't even know if that you was heard or not.
Of course
if you didn't hear Jade, it's because the mic was nowhere near her mouth.
Oh my God. All right.
Wow.
Okay, I think we'll have to do that again.
You think?
I'm Maya.
All right. I'm Jade.
And I'm Kadisha.
Welcome to this episode. Now
Welcome.
You can hear Jade.
Yeah, sorry
The
about
silent
that.
mouse.
That's so
Sorry
funny.
about it.
Okay, right. Kadisha, you kick us off. Actually, should I kick us off?
Okay, go on then,
I'll kick
love.
us off. So, I wanted to speak about America.
Okay, this week's
Right.
is Pick and Mix, in case you didn't know.
Yeah. You must know the deal by now. We do 1 week a pick and mix, 1 week another one.
Go on.
You know we're not. Anyway, okay. So, you know what I still think about that time?
Please
okay.
go with
All right,
the
cool. So, I wanted to talk about America. So, obviously, you may or may not know. If you haven't got me on the gram, you're a hater and you should follow now. But if you do, I went to California in October and it was the second time I've been to America, first time as an adult with my own perceptions. And I haven't really debriefed about it to a platform. I've told my friends and that and my family, but haven't really spoke about it in detail to all of you people. So I thought now would be a good time because it's not a whole episode type of thing. It's just a little pick. So here goes. The first thing that struck me about America when I went was that it's actually very, very ignorant. It's still very white and still very ignorant. And being there now...
Is that not a stereotype? I thought that as well, but is that not a stereotype?
I thought
them being like airhead and ignorant and racist and all that
Yeah,
jazz?
definitely. And I didn't think it was the case because all the Americans I've encountered haven't been like that.
Yeah.
But when you're in their home ground, it's wow. But then maybe that is the case for anyone else coming who aren't from England coming to England.
Yeah, imagine because I feel like everywhere apart from London basically is going to be really ignorant. I know that's a generalisation, a big one, but in general,
I think it depends on where in America you go. Because I went to New York in May and I had the best time. Everyone was so friendly, so nice, so welcoming.
Very true.
I don't have a bad thing to say. And in fact, I'm in a hurry to go back.
Yeah,
true.
But I feel like with America, it's more known for its areas of being like Texas and all that.
Like you in America, you don't really know about anywhere in England other than, unless you got a family there, other than London.
Yeah.
Whereas we know about loads of places in America. Also, to come back to your point, you were like, you think England's pretty good, pretty bad other than London. On my coding course, there was a girl and she's Brazilian. And when I saw her for like the second time, I was like, oh, hi. And I hugged her. And then she was like, oh, wow, you were the first person in London to hug me.
Oh my God, yeah, no, my Italian friend says this all the time.
That was definitely a Russian accent.
Yeah, it was. But how unfriendly English or like specifically people from London are. But I don't know, why that is, but we're just very untouchy, very cold.
Yeah. So there we go. So that's why I was surprised. And I can always tell if a person's not from London by how warm they are. Like, other than your accent, I could have told you weren't from London because you were warm. Yeah. And polite and really respectful. I'm not going to go to the first DM because it was too lovely.
Yeah, even like my Spanish family, like they're so like,
cuddly,
they
touchy.
just hug and and they're just so cute. And it's just like, but then again, I have like my family from here, like my cousins. I don't think I only hug them like when I first see them on an occasion. Like, oh, hi,
I hug a lot. I hug everyone. I love hugging.
I don't know hugs.
Anyway, right, different subject. Anyway, so the first thing that struck me was it definitely was Trump's. It is Trump's America, and you can so see it. But I would have hoped that you'd have like, okay, there's an idiot at the top. Like I feel like people in London feel about Boris. There's an idiot at the top. None of us rate him, but it is what it is. Ignore that idiot. But there's a lot more of a culture of he's at the top and finally we can be who we really want to be. We can live our best racist life. And they just say how they feel and they're unapologetic about it and they have a lot more freedom to say it.
I feel like that's happening in London because there's so many of the politicians now that are like tweeting and being ridiculous, like saying horrible things that are racist. I mean, we saw that with like Stormzy. He was having, I don't know, they were saying something to Stormzy and then Stormzy was like fighting back and everything. But I just feel like now,
Piers.
yeah. Oh, was it? But I feel like there has definitely been politicians that have been saying things that I'm just like, what the fuck? Or people definitely that high up in the parliament. And I just think that now it's just encouraging people to say more radical things and just think that it's okay to be exclusive of people and like talking. I mean, now I hear more people talking about like being against trans. I know that it's always like white males doing these like presentation shows on like why being trans is ridiculous, or like why aren't black people just going to school and sorting it out kind of thing.
If they work hard enough, they can get there too.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm hearing more about that now, and I feel like it is because of Brexit and the politicians saying more, and now people just think it's okay to say it.
Yeah. And that definitely does come through in America because just their whole perception is like, in my opinion, warped. But you do get the handful like you would get in cities and stuff. But I assumed because I was going to California, I thought that was going to be really like diverse and okay, yeah, you know, we get it. Not the case.
Really?
Even Los Angeles, still very white. Yeah. And just because that's what's pushed to the forefront.
But haven't they got like pockets of
people?
Yeah.
So I guess that's not integrated.
I was gonna say other races. I was gonna say like, isn't it like, for example, South London they say is loads of black people. This area is all the Asians. This area is it not like that? No.
They're scattered
like
few in
downtown
between.
LA or whatever.
Because isn't that where all the gangs and that is in LA?
Yeah, downtown LA.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, yeah, in that sense, yeah. But I think that's more like, because it's so crime based, it's very stereotyped in a bad way. Whereas if you're talking about England, you wouldn't necessarily say, oh yeah, that's the Asian area in a bad way, or oh yeah, that's the really Caribbean area in a bad way. Do you know what I mean? You may, but you probably won't. Whereas there, it's like, oh god, yeah, don't go down there. It's really, really dangerous. And then that there is code.
I think people would say it in a bad way. Like I feel like this. I don't know. I just feel like
sometimes, but not always.
Yeah. It's not just like, because there's out of London, there's places in Birmingham and there's places in other like areas, and you're like, oh yeah, that's the really Asian area, that's the really black area, and it's just fine.
Okay,
but there it's like danger is
like,
code for black or ethnic minority. Do you know what I mean? And I was really, really astounded by that. But why I think that it's allowed is because the few minority ethnics there are gaslighted because of what like white people are seeing in the media. So they're like, oh my God, hip hop, yeah, cool, that kind of stuff. So when they see someone black, they're like, oh my God, are you like someone famous? Do you know what I mean? Just because you're a normal black guy. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what really, really happens there. So when we went out and we met these two girls, beautiful mixed race girls, and they might even be my shout out. And they were explaining it. They were basically explaining like, in California, this part is where they love black people and they're still borderline racist. They don't realize it. They'll be like, oh my God, you're so pretty, and like think that they can touch you. But they think that they love you. Do you know what I mean? And they'll be really nice and, oh my God, you're so hot, and that kind of stuff. But then there's other places where you'll quickly feel the difference, and you'll quickly feel like, oh my God, I really, really stand out here. So yeah, I just wanted to burst any myths for anybody who was planning on going to America, because it fell into the category of for me, which was like a place like Australia or like New Zealand, which sadly I would be very, very less inclined to go to, because I know how...
I feel like England can be like that as well.
Oh my God. 100%. If I wasn't
If you would go Wales, I won't feel that same thing.
To be honest, I have been to Wales and I didn't feel that. But I think Wales is the only one. I spoke to a couple of people and they've been Wales is actually really nice.
My mum went to Wales and she said that she just was getting stared at the whole time she was there. And she went to visit my dad's brother who lives there. But he's lived there for a while and he's like the only black in the village. Do you know what I mean? And so when they went to visit, they were like, there's more of them. Like they just didn't. Yeah. And the stares and the looks that she was getting just from like going to the shop, she's like not on it to go back.
Yeah. And that's why I've said this before. I find it so funny when white people are like, oh my God, you must go and visit Scotland. You must, like, you literally, like, it's beautiful. And you're like, I wish I bloody could. Do you know what I mean? I'd love to go there, but imagine what I'd be cool there.
And that's what I thought, because my friend, she told me that she's back and she told me she was going to move to Ireland. And I was like, really? Like, like, aren't you like a bit worried? Are you concerned? You know, they're like really racist around there. And she was like, what? That's not a thing. And then my other friend, her cousin was like, yeah, that's not a thing. What are you on about? No, it's not. And I was like, what? I just thought, okay. I was like, all right, man.
Yeah.
And she said it's fine. She said it's fine there. So I don't know. But
I mean, obviously,
it was a given that it was known, but I mean,
yeah, it's obviously down to where you go, but it's also down to how you like what
things.
Yeah, and what your bar is. If your
some
bar
people
is being looked at and is being stared at and you're used to that and you live in certain areas, because I've noticed my even bars changed from moving back around here to when I used to live in Barnet. The kind of things I pick up on now, and I'm just like, hang on, that's like how you're saying that microaggressions went like they're actually microaggressions. That's how it used to be. Because even speaking to some of my old friends who I used to be friends with in Barnet, and I have this conversation, and I'm just like, oh shit, like all these years you've thought you could say that because I'm the only one who looks like me who's your friend, and now I realise you actually can't say that.
Yeah.
You actually
I just might punch you in the face now.
Yeah, I might call up a couple
To
of
be
them
fair,
on
when
them.
she moved there, she did say like, oh, it's not racist, but like when I'm at work, you know, all like the black people stay together and, you know, the white people chill together.
Yeah, because that's her
I
bar.
was
Her
like-
bar's probably at that level of, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hear the same thing from people of colour who are in white spaces. Tolerances are very different. So yeah, that's what I wanted to speak about on America. I was quite surprised that it isn't as far forward thinking as I thought it was, especially because of how much media we absorb from America. We are all of our TV, a lot of it is American. A lot of what we see is American. And I just thought, you know, Barack Obama, all of that. And it's clearly not the case.
Yeah. All right, so
That was a good pick.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll try and keep this kind of quick or kind of briefer than, because it could be made into a long one, but I'm going to try not to do that. But basically, I was listening to one of Joe Rogan's podcasts, and he was saying about how...
He needs to start sponsoring ours.
He actually
He's
should.
really good.
There's another pod,
Look.
so help us out, brother.
I mean, there's more time in the day they can listen to us and them, you know what I mean? Anyway, so I was listening to it and he made a really good point, and he was saying that, like, what does our planet actually do? Do you know what I mean? There's obviously billions of planets and whatever. Like, what does our planet actually do? And our planet is basically, like, we just make stuff and make better stuff. Like, that's all we do, really and truly. All the businesses and just to, like, make stuff. And it just kind of got me thinking, oh, yeah, like, that's kind of what we do. And it's like, we have, like, I don't know, 80 to 100 years on this planet. And, like, if you were just dropped here today, like, what would you want to do with your time, your precious 80 years on this beautiful planet? Like, what would you want to do? What do you think is the purpose of your time on this planet? Do you know what I mean? Because I know we think of it as like, what's my goals for next week? What's my goals for my career? What's my goals of my personal goals? Do you know what I mean? But like, actually, when you think of it on like a huge scale, like, we are on this planet for a small amount of time in the grand scheme of things. What do we want to do? Like, what's the point? You know?
Wow. I think about this often.
Do you? I thought it was just me. When I told my friend, she was like, are you all right? She was like,
Felicia
"Do you
looks
need
like she's
help?"
going to say that.
I'm glad I'm not alone.
I think, this is something I think about a lot, and it can keep me up at night.
God.
I think about all the time.
I feel like as humans, we're
Yeah.
very limited in what we know.
Yeah.
We only know from when humans existed.
Yeah.
Nothing really. So we don't know moving forward that much, and we are programmed therefore to procreate and to continue a legacy, which is also basically the same thing, procreating and legacy. So I think our purpose here is to leave something behind. For a lot of people, that is a child to carry on, and for a lot of people, that is a business or a product, and that is why that is what Earth does, because Earth is inhabited by humans, and that's all we know how to do.
Yeah. What about you, Keisha? What do you think?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Okay, well, let me explain my bit. Maybe that'll help you to like think about it. So sometimes I think, like, I always think if I was dropped on the planet today, what would I want to do? And I just
Do you
think,
mean as a baby?
Yeah.
Or...
no, at this age, like if I was dropped here at this age
So
now,
what's
like
the
somewhere
difference
else?
between you being here now
because
and
I
you
feel
being
like
dropped
because
here
we
now?
grow up, because I feel like as we grow up as babies and stuff, we're kind of bred into this
Society,
lifestyle
yeah.
of like you know you go into education, like this is what you're supposed to do, and you're almost like, I mean, I wouldn't say we're brainwashed, but it's like we don't know anything else. But whereas if you're dropped, like with all you know now, all of a sudden you would drop one day on here, I feel like we'd have a more objective perspective on like, okay, what do I want to do here without any outside kind of less outside interference of like, I need to get money, I need to have a job, I need to do you know what I mean? And like, because for example, I see people who, I was reading something the other day about this man who literally lives in the wilderness and he just enjoys life, just having a little bit of food. Like he worked for a while to just get a little bit of money and he literally has a little home that he built in like the forest and he just lives there and it just enjoys literally just being in nature and doing nothing. And I feel like if I was dropped here today and I was like, what do I want to do? I just would want to see the world. And like I would just want to like just see how beautiful it is because obviously there's so many places to see. And I was thinking, oh, but you need money.
But you wouldn't know about the other places.
If I know all I know now, and I was just dropped here.
So what's the difference to you being alive now?
Like you are more aware that like so imagine you've been up there. Okay, so imagine you were taken up right now into space, and someone said to you, right, you have 80 years. Like you have 80 years. Oh, I'm gonna give you 50 years down there, and then like your time is up, and then just like drop you down there and be like, go. Wouldn't that change your perspective on things on like,
only because I know I've specifically got 50 years left.
Why? What would you want to do differently?
That's like the Black Mirror thing where they, what is it? When they get into a relationship and they check the clock thing and it says you're only going to be with this person for 2 weeks.
So what would you do differently if you only had 50 years? What would you want to do if you're like, all right, you've got 50 years left here? What would be? I don't think I would veer off track. I think what I'm doing now is exactly what I would do. Okay.
In the scenario that I'm. So is your question, if you knew that you only had X amount of years on the earth, or is it because this whole being dropped here, but knowing what you know, I don't see how it works.
Are you talking more about planet Earth?
Yes.
Okay, so she's saying planet Earth. What does planet Earth offer you other than things that you've been socialized into knowing? So we know about working hard, going to school, and this is the trajectory that's forced upon us. So she's saying, take that off. Say no one told you to go work and do this and do that, and you just existed on this planet. What would you do differently?
Is it a case where I don't have to work? Because I would go poor and then I'd end up having to work. I'd soon find out that life is not free and I'd have to get a job.
Like, for example, if I'm saying like I want to go see the world or whatever, I could easily just go be an English teacher. How are you going to fund it? I could be an English teacher and just go around the world, teach English for a bit and live on like, not have a lot of money, but if I could just see the money. Yeah, obviously, okay, save for a flight, go for a flight. But then once you're there, so get a job.
She's going to work.
So get a job, exactly.
Yeah, but she's saying, if you've got like, is there anything?
But why don't you want to just do that now anyway?
No, because I'm saying that if I was dropped here right now, that's what I would do. I'd be like, I'm thinking like I don't need much money. I would just go there and be an English teacher, just work a little bit, and I could just go from place to place on little money and just see the world. That's kind of, and I feel like I could really enjoy that life. But
what's stopping you from doing that now? Because
that's so far removed from a world that I know now, like getting money, and I just feel like that's so far from what I know now. It's scary, like the idea of. I feel like I've been
too
brought up my whole life to think that I need money and I have great opportunities to have money and have things that everybody could want. So for me to think that, I could just be,
give that up
from place to place, teaching a bit of English and looking at the world. It
I
just
know
kind of sounds scary to me.
That.
Do you? See, but I do think that, so it just made me think, I guess, would I ever do that? I don't know, but I don't know, maybe a different circumstance, maybe I would.
That's weird. Yeah, no, I think I'd be exactly the same.
So that's cool.
Oh my God. Okay.
One thing I would probably do is give up junk food.
Okay.
It's all right. Okay, fine. There we go. Good.
Right.
Your pick.
Okay. Quickly. Mine is, how well do our friends and family really know us?
Oh, this is so good.
Excellent.
I like this one.
Where'd you get these?
Yeah.
They just come to me and then I write them down.
Yeah.
Literally be in a scenario where I'd be like, do you even know me?
So
Let me write this down.
I think that all the time about my family. I don't know how much they really know me, especially my parents. Like, they don't know me all. Like, sometimes they get me and my sister confused all the time on certain things, or who's like what and whose name is what. But I know that's normal. But like, they just don't know me at all.
Yeah.
I feel like people around me know me pretty well.
They do.
Yeah.
My friends know me more than
I don't think there's things that like... I think people around me know me. Like, I actually think that people I have around me know me.
Yeah.
But not
that's
just
because you're quite close.
The question wasn't people around you. The question was, how well do your friends and family know me? How well do your friends and family know you? So, for example, if somebody was to ask your auntie that you might not have spoken to for 3 months. What sort of music does Maya listen to?
Yeah.
Would she know? Do you know what I mean? Or would she just say, I don't know, probably that rap stuff?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or like somebody that you do speak to often.
Yeah.
And you said to them, oh, what's Maya's favourite perfume? What kind of scent does she like? Oh,
or like if there's certain situation happen, like what would Maya think about this? Would they be like, oh?
I feel like the people I fuck with would know. Yeah. But the people I don't, like, for me, family doesn't mean I'm close to you. So I have a lot of family that wouldn't know, and they would say that. Like, I have an aunt in particular who she literally could not tell you anything about. She can only tell you what has been told to her. Do you know what I mean? Other people in the family have told her shit about me, and she will tell that as if she knows that. But she don't know that. Do you know what I mean? She actually doesn't know what I'm on. But she will say it as if like it's gospel. If someone else asks her that, so then she'll be like, oh yeah, Maya's doing this. Oh my God, yeah, have you heard about Maya? Like, as if she fucks with me. She doesn't talk to me.
That's true.
So yeah, people I know heavy will know me because I'm I let people in. If I like you, I'll let you in. You'll be in my house. You'll be my family. And you'll know my shit.
I think I have a lot of people that don't have a clue. And I don't necessarily think it's because I don't let them. I just think it's because people see what they want to see type thing. So for example, like the people that I've not left behind in Leicester, but that I no longer see every day or speak to every day.
Especially because you've changed since Leicester. I mean, you've
that
been
as well.
through
So
so
they
much.
don't see me often to know like my mannerisms anymore. They will think about how Kadisha was when she was 15.
Yeah.
That was 10 years ago. Do you know what I mean? So things like that, when I think about it, people will say, oh, don't worry, you got it, you're strong. And you're like, you don't know how many times I've cried this week.
Yeah.
Or, do you know what I mean? Obviously, man don't cry in that, but I could have.
Yeah.
But things like, even just the other day,
What was
talking,
the situation that made you think we?
No, this is a separate one.
Oh.
Just the other day, I was at my cousin's house and my friend, remember Maria who came on the pod?
Yeah.
She was there as well. And we was talking about like engagement rings. Like if we was with somebody and like the guy came, like how would he know what ring to pick? Like if he came to you guys and said, oh, I want to get a ring for Kadisha, would anybody know what ring I would like?
That's specific. Like, I don't think anybody would know what I would want.
I think.
But then she was like, she knew her best friend's ring, what she wants and what she would like.
Yeah,
she knew
that's what they speak about. That.
Yeah, okay, fair. But that's not why I picked this. I already had this pick before that conversation, but that was just an example.
Yeah.
But even things like
Yeah, but I think your friends should be able to. We would know if someone came to us and was like, "Oh, what could you?" We would know.
That
put down the bright pink fucking spotty shit.
And we would know that they need to be careful with this and don't just get anything.
I would like to think,
luxurious.
Yeah.
We would know the key words. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't know the cut
but
and ring
even like,
size.
for example, okay, so what was it? Christmas. I was talking to my dad, who I have only just recently been speaking to more frequently, and he was like talking about getting me a Christmas present, and he was like, "What sort of stuff do you like?" And he was like, "Because I know you like gold." Because I only wear gold jewelry, but he was like, I was like, yeah, but don't get me jewelry because although I only like gold jewelry, I don't really wear jewelry like that. Do you know what I mean? Unless it's like the necklace that I never take off, or the ring on my finger that never comes off, or my watch that I put on to tell the time. I don't really wear jewelry like that. So you buying me jewelry would be a waste. And he's like, oh. And he really thought he was onto something there by saying, I know you like gold.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. And then he was like, well, what would you like then? And I was like, a holiday. And then he was like, oh, okay, but what, would you go by yourself? And I thought, you obviously don't know me. Yeah, you obviously don't know me
Haven't even read my gram.
Yeah, like I've been away a few times by myself, and if you knew about me, then you would know these things, but you don't. And just certain things that certain people would say, and I'd be like, you just don't even know me at all. Do you know what I mean? Or and it can come from just not being around you and not having the conversations with you, but when you say that these people are supposed to be your friends and your family, you would think that they would just, I don't know, just know you.
Even like one time my sister said she made some comment like that she wouldn't want my family to pay for her wedding because she was like, yeah, well, you know, I mean, we all know how expensive Jay's is going to be and how crazy that's going to be. And I was just thinking, like, first of all, you don't know me because I don't even know if I want to get married. And second of all, who says I want some big wedding? Like, who are you talking about?
Screams that about me?
That's
Do you know what I mean?
funny.
I was like, what are you on about? Like, and she didn't even
That's
say it to me. I tried it through the grapevine, but I was just like, you don't know me, man. What the
and
hell?
and I don't like that feeling, you know.
Yeah.
That feeling when somebody you
they know
think
you.
should know you
Yeah.
or does know you says something absurd and you're like,
yeah, like clearly, like you know nothing about me.
yeah. I almost feel a little bit
Yeah,
Betrayed.
gutted.
Yeah.
Like, because I like to think I know like my people well, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you say something that's so far removed from what I know to be myself,
Yeah.
or people, and especially when you're like, somebody's accusing you of something and this and this and this.
In
you're
that
like-
situation, I was
and
like, I
you're
would never even get my parents to pay for it anyway. Even if I was going to do it, I'm paying for that shit myself. So I was just like, what?
Yeah.